All right, everyone, let's take another ride. Today, we're going to talk about attending a 1% motorcycle club party, but from two perspectives. First, I'll talk about what it was like when I first started out in a support club. And then I'll explain what it's like as a full outlaw member, what the scene is really like and what to look out for. If you've never been to one of these events before, watch closely. This will help you understand the atmosphere and what to expect. Let's get into it. My first outlaw motorcycle club party. I'll start with a story. The first 1% outlaw motorcycle club party I ever attended. To be clear, I won't name the club involved because what happened that night would legally be considered a crime. But it was a major diamond club, one of the biggest. The party took place at their clubhouse, and all the other clubs in their coalition were there. About 50 different clubs in total. It was a huge event, and everyone who was anyone in the biker scene showed up. During the party, one of the Diamond Club members grabbed a woman inappropriately, and she reacted by slapping him across the face. Things escalated instantly. At that time, I was still in an auto club, trying to earn respect and eventually join an MC. Our president came over and said, "The big brother said we need to clear a path. Something's about to go down." We followed orders immediately, pushing the crowd back to create space. While I was facing away from the commotion, I suddenly heard several loud hits. Boom, 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 and chaos broke out behind me. People started screaming, drinks were flying, and when I turned around, I saw one man being beaten and stomped by multiple members. It got bad, very bad. When the fight was over, the attackers walked away calmly as if nothing had happened. I looked back and saw the man lying unconscious on the ground. The strangest part? None of the attackers were wearing sneakers. They all had on heavy steel-toe combat boots, the kind that can do serious damage. Then I noticed something else. The woman who had been grabbed was also lying on the ground. She had been beaten too. That moment stuck with me for years. From that experience, I learned one of my biggest personal rules. Don't bring your woman to every club event. I've seen it too many times. Men bringing their wives or girlfriends everywhere, even into dangerous or unpredictable environments. It's one thing to show love and include your partner, but it's another to bring them into a situation where things can turn violent in seconds. If you're a prospect or a new member, it's even worse. You haven't earned the respect or the protection yet. Bringing your girlfriend could put both of you at risk. When you're at these events, your focus should be on the brotherhood and on proving yourself, not on trying to keep your partner safe in a chaotic environment. I've seen club presidents who can't go anywhere without their wives. They lead a 1% club but can't leave their partner at home for a night. That's not how leadership works in this world. This doesn't mean you should never bring your woman around, but you have to know the environment and the people. If there's any chance of tension or conflict, it's smarter to leave her at home. Outlaw clubs can be unpredictable. Alliances shift fast. Even if you have strong relationships within another club, that protection can disappear overnight if someone crosses the line. Brotherhood versus distraction. Another thing I've seen, guys claiming they're loyal to the brotherhood, but constantly putting their relationships first. They'll skip rides or trips because their partners aren't okay with it. That's why so many OGs and seasoned members always ask newcomers, "Are you sure you're ready for this life? Did you talk to your old lady about it?" Because truthfully, most men who leave a club don't leave because of violence, the law, or money. They leave because of their wives or girlfriends. Many act tough, but when their partners say, "It's me," or the club, they choose to walk away. Back to that first outlaw party, I didn't like what happened that night, especially what they did to that woman. But I also learned something important. In this world, if one brother swings, they all swing. That's the code. I also learned how rough that environment can be. No sneakers, no mercy, and no hesitation. It was violent, chaotic, and real. That night showed me both the dark side and the brotherhood of the outlaw biker world, the respect, the rules, and the reality that comes with living that life. At those early parties, I noticed something that stood out immediately. The Diamond Club members didn't talk to anyone outside their own circle. They would walk right past other club members without saying a word, only greeting their own brothers, often loudly, as if to make a point. It was as though, in their minds, if you weren't wearing their patch, you didn't matter. I didn't like that attitude. But in a strange way, I also understood it. I've always been somewhat antisocial myself, especially in large social settings, so I could relate to not wanting to greet every single person in the room. But when you're in a support club, there's a rule of respect. You're expected to introduce yourself to the senior members. You're supposed to walk up, shake hands, and say something like, "Hey, I'm so-and-so from this club." That kind of friendliness was never my style. That was the first seed planted in my mind, the moment I realized I wanted to join a diamond club myself. Life inside the outlaw world. Fast forward to when I finally became a member of an outlaw motorcycle club. Everything changed. I've seen things most people couldn't imagine. For example, there was one night I'll never forget. If you're new to the culture, listen carefully to this. If you ever see a big, intimidating guy standing near the bathroom door, that's not your signal to use the bathroom. It usually means something is going down inside, and you need to stay away. One time I saw a sergeant-at-arms guarding the door. His president was inside having a heated conversation with a member from another club. It was tense. The sergeant-at-arms told a guy nearby, "Hold on a minute." But the man ignored him and said, "I've got to use the bathroom." You don't own it. He wasn't wrong, but that's not how the streets work. Before he could say another word, the sergeant-at-arms hit him so hard that he literally slid across the floor. The man was out cold before he hit the ground. It was all over something as small as a bathroom. But in this culture, it was about protection and respect. As someone who served as a sergeant-at-arms myself for years, I understood it completely. Your job is to protect your president and your brothers. You can't let anyone near them when something might be going down. It's not about being violent. It's about doing your duty. That's how the outlaw world works. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you how it is. Rules for first-time visitors to an outlaw party. If you've never been to an outlaw motorcycle club party before, there are a few things you should know. 1. Don't go unless you know people there. If you don't have close relationships within the club, don't show up uninvited. And if a woman tells you she's going to one of these parties, do not tag along just because she's going. I've seen many men make that mistake, following a woman into an environment they don't understand. That's not a place for you to hang out and impress her. If she's going to an outlaw club party, that's part of her lifestyle. She's probably drawn to that world, and she'll want someone who rides and lives that life too. 2. Never bring your own alcohol into someone else's clubhouse. That's one of the biggest signs of disrespect. The bar is how clubs make money. Bringing your own bottle is like cutting into their business. I've seen people have bottles smashed over their heads for doing that. If you want to bring something as a gift, that's fine. But make it clear you're donating it to the bar. Otherwise, you'll just look like someone sneaking in their own liquor, and that can end badly. 3. Don't hold anything in your hands that could be seen as a weapon. Even a glass bottle can be viewed as a threat inside a clubhouse. A real sergeant-at-arms won't take chances. They'll take you out before you even realize what happened. 4. Know your limits with alcohol. Most problems at club events come from people who drink too much. Around 90% of fights or violent situations start because someone couldn't control their liquor. If you or your friends can't handle drinking, don't do it in that environment. 5. Never touch another member's vest or patches. Don't pat them on the back. Don't touch their shoulder. Nothing. Those patches represent their identity, their brotherhood, and their life. Touching one without permission can be taken as a serious insult. 6. Respect the women and know who they belong to. If you see a woman wearing a vest that says "property of," followed by a club name or a man's name, stay away. That woman is someone's wife or partner in the MC world. Even if she smiles at you or seems friendly, do not mistake it for interest. If you cross that line, you won't be the one walking away. She will. You'll be the one getting hurt. In this culture, property of is the equivalent of a wedding ring. Disrespecting that is one of the fastest ways to start a war. Believe it or not, many major biker wars started over a woman. That's why understanding these unspoken rules is so important. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this: respect the club, respect the people, and respect the culture. Thanks for tuning in to True Crime Exposure, the home of MC culture. Like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you on the next ride.